Hi everybody, it's Linda Anderson here from Linda Luth Creates, and I'm really happy you tuned in with me today. I want to share with you a fun fold card that I created that was inspired by this card. The way that I created this, I'm going to show you here in a minute. Coloring it up with my Stampin' Blends, had a fun time with that, even stamped on the inside as well. So this opens up like a regular card. Well, I thought I would change it up a little bit, and let me move that off to the side. Besides the colors being different, now here it is. Looks like it might be the same. The only thing is the card base is just a quarter sheet of cardstock, and here's the fun fold portion right here on the front. So let me show you how I made this. Okay, so first up are the supplies that you're going to need. Now, I am using soft sea foam, and I'm going to call it my card base. And this happens to be, like I said, a quarter sheet of cardstock. So that means it measures 5.5 by 4 1/4. You're actually going to cut 2 pieces of that. So essentially cut a sheet of cardstock in half along the 5.5 inch, and then cut that piece in half at 4 1/4. So you have 2 of those. Now, one is going to be for the card base. The other one is going to be for the fun fold portion of the card. So this one you're going to need to run a score line on it so you can have something to fold. And this is at 2 3/4. Okay, now next I have, working my way up from the bottom here, I have a piece of petal pink, and this is 5 1/4 by 4. And then I have a piece, I like using the thick Whisper White, and it happens to measure 5 by 3 3/4. There is 2 other pieces of Whisper White, and they are both the same size, and they are 4 by 2 1/2. They're going to go one on the inside and one on the outside then. Okay. And then I just happen to have a scrap piece of white that I stamped a sentiment on, and then out of Calypso Coral did a little scallop oval die cut from that as well. Okay, so let me set aside a couple things here. And I'm going to get these 2 pieces of white. First, the one, again, it measures 5 by 3 3/4. This piece then is the 4 by 2 1/2. Now I'm going to not really adhere them together. I just want to kind of tack them down together. So I'm going to just put just a smidgen piece of some adhesive on there. I'm just going to hit it with my finger a couple times just to take off some of that tackiness. I don't want them to actually be stuck together. All right, so that's not quite as tacky now, and I'm just going to go ahead and layer this right over top of it. I'm one who likes to eyeball, but if you prefer measuring, yeah, I know I have grid paper here, but I always seem to just eyeball things. This is what we're going to do some stamping on. Now let me show you the stamp set. I'm pulling out one that came out actually in last year's annual catalog, and it's the Good Morning Magnolia set. I go to this set a lot. It really is very, very versatile. Has some beautiful die cuts, or dies rather, that come with it. So I have the large Magnolia on my acrylic block, and I am going to use just some Memento Black, Tuxedo Black, and let me ink that up. I am one who likes to lay my, stamps on my surface, my work surface, and then I come down, as opposed to trying to do it the other way around where I come down on top of the ink pad. So I've got that, and let me move some things out of the way because I'm going to stamp in the opposite corners here. Okay, so let me just pop this one in, and I'm gonna press nice and firm. Now I am going to give you a warning. Whenever I lift it up, you're going to be like, you didn't quite get it all stamped. And I'll show you what I mean here in a second. I just really want to make sure that's stamped good. All right. But see here along where the 2 layers of cardstock are, I didn't quite get that perfect image there. Don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. I promise. Okay. So I am going to stamp this a second time, and I'm just going to do it like I said in the opposite corner. So let me get that and bring this back in. And I am just eyeballing where I want to put this. There's no real rhyme or reason on stamping it, but again, just making sure that there's good pressure applied to it, that I can get a really good image. Okay, and there we go. All right, now let me just move some things out of the way. I'm actually going to take these apart, because the piece that I put on top, the 4 by 2.5, this piece only is the one that I'm going to do some coloring on. And I am using my Stampin' Blends. I do love these. My biggest thing that is my absolute love for these is the fact that they come in light and dark. There is no guesswork involved with it. You just have light and dark. There's not a whole variety of different shades of a color. And that is big for me, because I am not at all an artist or someone who colors very well. There's many ways. There's no right way and there's no wrong way to color. So I just like to do it where I just apply the dark and use your stamp. The image has some marks on it, some areas that it's like, oh, this is gonna, there's some shadow going on in there. Let the stamp help you. Okay, so where those little shadow marks are, I apply my dark. Then I come back through with the light, and I happen to prefer the brush end to do all this. And this is where now I'm going to do some blending. If I happen to leave a little bit of white in there and don't go all the way to the edge, that's fine. That's fine. If there is some spots that I missed, like here, I didn't hit that, or if I want my dark to be a little darker, I can come back through with that again. And again, if you need to blend, if the lines are too harsh on it for you, then go ahead and run your light over it yet again. But I find that this is what works for me. All right, so the first color I used was the Calypso Coral. Like I said, light and dark. This pinky color here is the Petal Pink. And then for my green, I am using Soft Seafoam. So I am just going to do real quick one leaf, and you can see how quickly this is coming together. Okay, so that was the dark. Let me come back in with the light, and I just color right over where the dark was, blending that color. And like I said, if I happen to leave a little bit of white, that's okay. All right, so that's the beginning of the coloring that I'm going to be doing. Let me bring in then, oh, one thing let me point out, make sure you protect your work surface, because these alcohol markers do bleed through to the other side, and I don't want you to ruin anything as far as your work surface goes. So I'm going to set that aside, and I have one that I had already colored. All right, so just did the same technique. So you can see that it goes together like so. Kind of cool that way, huh? So what I'm going to do now is start building this card. It's as simple as that. So I'm going to take this piece and bring in my little fun fold section. So remember, that's the 5.5 by 4 1/4. Yeah, I'll explain this in a second. Let me just go ahead and get this adhered down. And okay, one thing I do have to be careful and very mindful of is the direction that I want this to go. So make sure that you set it down on here. Okay, so this is how I want it to go. My fold is up here at the top, and let me just move this out of the way. So I have my flowers going in the right direction. So that's kind of one of the biggest things to keep in mind when you're doing this. Okay, I stamped a little flower that also comes in this stamp set, this Good Morning Magnolia. So I just did the little bud and again colored it with those same colors, the petal pink and the soft seafoam. Okay, so this is going in the inside, and this way, I mean, there's not a lot of messaging that you could have, not a lot of room for that, but you know what, sometimes that's okay. They just want to see that you have thought of them and sent them a card, whoever will receive this. So okay, next thing I want to do, well, I'll apply that front here in a moment. I want to go ahead and get this put down now too. So this is the 5 by 3 3/4. It's going to go down to the petal pink, and then the petal pink, which is 1/4 of an inch bigger, but or all the way around here, is going to go down to, and I keep calling it a card base, even though there's no fold to it. So it will come here onto this soft seafoam. All right, now anytime I do fun fold cards, when I am, whatever portion of the card is going to get moved a lot, I like to attach it with the tear and tape. So that does come in this roll. It is super duper adhesive. It is very strong. So that's what you see on the back here, and so that I can apply it then, and because that's the fun part, is the fun fold. So it's going to get moved around a lot. So I like to make sure that it's going to stay where I put it. All right. So, and as always with tear and tape, it has a mind of its own as to whether it's going to let you take the release paper off or not. So this one actually seems to be behaving, and I probably shouldn't have said that until I got the last one pulled up. Okay, there we go. Again, eyeball it. Make sure you have the flowers going the right direction here. And I mean, there's no need to line it up exactly because you have this green layer that kind of breaks it up. So if you're off a little bit, it's not going to be noticeable, but do your best. Okay, all I need now is a sentiment and a little bit of embellishing. Like I said, I just have a simple hello with some ovals cut out. That's out of the layering oval die set. A must-have. All of these layering ones, the ovals, the squares, the circles, they're a must. All right. Now, where do I want to put the sentiment? Wherever you want, whatever you like. All right. Do I like it up here? I actually like it down here to the left. All right. Okay, there we go. One final thing. I'm going to add some gold glitter enamel dots. Okay, so let me see which ones I want. Let me throw these on. I like to do it in odd numbers. So today it's going to be the 3 of them. Okay, let me get another one on there. Okay. Yeah, it's coming apart on me here. Okay, so let me try this one. There we go. All right, there's 1, 2. Let's see if we can get the third one in here. Sometimes I'm just never sure where I want to put the third one, and I actually do think I want to put it right there. Okay, and there it is. Here is a fun fold card using some coloring, which is odd for me. I am not much of a colorer, but like I said, those blends sure do make it easy. So, And here's your fun fold portion. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And then also consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I have a blog. It is Linda Lou Creates, and go there and you will have a chance to sign up for my newsletter. So that is lindaloucreates.com for that. So thanks again, everyone, for joining me, and I sure hope you get a chance to create today. Bye now.